Good evening, speed running fans. Good evening, Super Metroid fans. We are here. It is time. This is the 2024-2025 Super Metroid multi-category tournament. We are in the finals, the grand finals. We have a best of three race coming up today between mm2nescartridge, the overall #1 seed in this bracket. Eddie coming in, the higher seed in pools, but did not do quite as well as MM2, who did not drop a game. We've got an absolute barn burner on our hands, ready to take you through the action. Big thanks to Gestro setting us up on the restream. My name is Professor School. I am joined live in the commentary booth by Ryan Ford. Ryan, what's up?
Yo, big chillin' as usual. Pretty hyped for this set coming up.
Yeah, this is going to be an excellent set. We are hoping it goes to 3 games, as we always are. We'll have to see what these grand finals have in store. MM2nescartridge has not dropped a match yet, and here he is in the grand finals. As the higher seed, could elect to determine who picked and who vetoed. We will see whether or not this becomes the Achilles heel or not of MM2nescartridge. But as you and I, Ryan, were talking about in the green room, continuously having to ban low ice, deciding that it was a strategy to not have to focus on that one of the 7 categories in this multi-category tournament, and as a result, had to ban low ice, and Eddie picked, surprising no one, any percent. We've got a 41 runner, honestly could be a 40 runner. Eddie, absolutely one of the top any percent runners in the entire world, and he gets to have his way first with his category, and we'll just have to see how these 2 runners are able to handle it, and if MM2 can do enough to stay close and keep this competitive in what should be a PRKD matchup.
Yep. Yeah, runners synced up. And yeah, the usual. It's not really that much to talk about for series, right? Until the escape begins.
Yeah, and then Eddie, by the way, banning, it looks like max GT code. So we'll just have to see what comes up in Game 2. We will have a Game 2 guaranteed. This is, as a reminder, this multi-category tournament has 7 categories in it. We've got the sort of 5 major leaderboard categories: any percent, low percent, RBO, GT Classic, and low percent ice, and then we've got 2 from the extension boards: max percent GT code I just mentioned, and we've got North Korea percent as well. Those are the 7, and we'll just have to see what we get for Game 2, and if necessary, hopefully a Game 3. We know we will not see low ice, we will not see max percent GT code. I don't know, what do you think, Ryan? I think it's pretty straightforward to just tip advantage to Eddie for this first race, given his any percent experience.
Yep. They yeah, both of them have been steadily banning both of those categories for the whole tournament. They I guess they're both going in with the same plan to like not work on that category and just like ban it outright.
Yep. Yeah, and you mentioned this in the green room, Ryan, but Eddie has spent quite a bit of time workshopping low percent, and so maybe that just seemed to bridge too far at this point for MM2. I suspect he did a little bit of work on it, but in the end, for one reason or another, maybe we'll get to this in interviews later, MM2 continuing with that singular ban, as did Eddie, so they could just focus on 6 others. So we essentially have 4 other categories on the board, not including the 2 bans and any percent. And I don't know, we'll have to see which direction MM2 goes. On the table for Game 2, 100%. RBO, North Korea, and GT Classic. Any thoughts on where MM2 might take this based on the sort of strength differences of these 2 runners?
Yeah, based on categories. I'm I'm gonna guess that it's either gonna be North Korea or RBO, but I could be wrong, honestly.
Yeah, I think something a little bit more volatile makes a lot of sense. I do know that Eddie has spent some time working on Moondance, and that's not going to be applicable for RBO. You're not going to see Moondance in a single Norfair in a tournament. It certainly will not happen, but it is the optimal route for North Korea percent, and it is something that MM2 is exceptionally good at. I do think we have 2 hitbox runners today. Eddie does play on hitbox. MM2 recently did have a hitbox made for him, and I believe he switched from the keyboard that he was using on emulator and is now playing on hitbox on console.
Oh, cool. Okay, I thought that he was keyboard as well, but
Yeah,
makes
that was
them
a
pretty.
recent development. I'm not 100% sure if he has committed to Hitbox yet for sort of these top-level serious runs, but we will just have to see.
Oh, I do remember that he said he played on Hitbox during like one set, I think. I might be wrong
Yeah.
about that.
So pretty good times so far. 402, 403 coming through the door. Anything 4-minute or sub 4 is like super elite time when you're talking about 4-3x bombs. Both
Yep.
of these runners looking like they're going to have the capacity to get what should be, I think, low 4-4x's here for their bombs. Yeah, this is 419 coming through this door into Parlor is really good.
Yeah, it's probably like a 443-ish, 42, something like that.
Ooh, little hiccup there from Eddie. Or was that actually, that might have been to get the energy. Looks like he had taken an extra hit and wanted to make sure he was full on energy and not at the mercy of BT. Oh, there's
Yeah.
that 3 and 2 missile strat. Oh, no, that's really, really bad for Eddie. Went for that faster 3 and 2 missile strat. Was originally sort of a TAS-only strat. I think Stream is the first runner that I saw pick that up. Zenny was now maining that and was doing that in the recent 90% world record, the 40-22 that he got. Eddie going for that same on-the-ground strat, that 3+2 missile strat. MM2 going for the more standard air strat where you sort of jump and shoot the missiles down, the final 3 missiles down. Eddie missing that and then having to go back for that Fire Fleece, so a pretty big loss right up front. This is exactly what MM2 wants.
Yep. Based off of their PBs, I don't know if MM2 has PB'd since, but I think he has like a 43-12 for the Fantoon first route.
Yeah, and go check this out. I mean, you have that big error from Eddie, and then immediately MM2 struggling with that BT fight, and Eddie just goes ahead and takes the lead. So we had pretty blazing times for both runners, and now both of them have hit their first real bump in the road. What do you think, Ryan? Is this sort of like you get the mistake and it sort of riles you up, or you say like, all right, I got the one out of the way. It's not going to be a perfect run. I feel better now. What do you think?
It definitely varies depending on the person, because I think I have too high expectations for myself, so I definitely am like kind of like lamenting about mistakes. But I know some people, they're like, when they're having a really good pace and then they're like, something's gonna drop eventually, and then they feel relieved that they like mess something up eventually. So it depends on the person for sure.
Yeah. Still just a high 6-1x coming in this elevator, so we'll get into this early supers mock ball. We did want to just say something right off the top. We've done our intros, and oh boy, holy smokes. Okay. Yeah, just a couple hiccups here for Eddie early on.
Yeah, I missed both of the. I forget what those snail enemies are called actually. But yeah.
And look at this, just straight up synced at early supers despite all the hiccups. Maybe a quarter of an item fanfare behind for MM2 here.
Hold on, give me for a moment.
Yeah, I might just take the opportunity now. We don't want to keep this too somber. This is an exciting occasion, but it's something we've been talking about in the community, and then Ryan and I were talking about in the green room. Community did learn a little earlier that a really wonderful individual, Golden Chorizo Code, who you may know for some of his incredible videos, looking at some of the really obscure and rare tech in this game and some of the interesting glitches. Unfortunately, we learned earlier that he did pass away last year, and so our condolences are going out to his family, and we hold GCC in our hearts. An excellent member of the community, and please keep your eyes peeled. We're going to be doing some kind of a memorial community race and event in his honor. Go and check some of those videos out. Really excellent YouTube videos, and a fantastic member of the community. We'll miss you very much, GCC, and these next few are going to be for you.
Yeah, for real. Rest in peace, GCC. Yeah, like I didn't know him personally, but I did see the Discord. Oh my gosh, was that last night? With everybody, talking about it and like sharing their memories about him and everything. So it's a huge loss. But yeah, sorry that I dropped for a moment there, but just talking to my sister for a moment.
No worries at all. Not as many drops as these runners have had in the early going. I don't know if it's jitters. I'm throwing a little shade as a commentator, I guess, but I'm not sure that I would have predicted a mid to high 4x power bombs time from either one of these runners. They started off really clean, and there's just been, gosh, I don't know if it's nerves, if it's just a little bit of jitters or what's going on, but just a little bit of trouble here in a couple spots. For both of these runners. Usually you'd expect at this level you'd be getting up this elevator somewhere in the 5x range, 8.5x. So we'll have to see if the jitters hold through to this moat. This is a critical part of this run. You can lose a lot of time, and between moat and Fantoon, wreck chip is really what makes this early part of PRKD very, very volatile. And this has got to be what MM2 is hoping for, that the volatility can help him make up for the skill gap in any percent between these two runners.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, looks like they're both getting the CWJ chance.
Wow, and both going into the moat. Oh my goodness.
Is this what you wanted from Grand Finals, chat? We've got a barn burner on our hands.
Okay, that looked like a pretty good setup from MM2. Ooh, just missed it. Eddie in the moat, and there's first chance HBJ. I have to say, that is not easy. When you miss twice and you're taking a dip in the moat, and then you don't set up the second time, actually,
oh my god,
oh no, actually, like being able to bang out that horizontal bomb jump right off the bat can be really difficult if you're already in your own head. And meanwhile here, Eddie, oh my goodness, that's 2 in-room setup issues plus missing that first frame on the item fanfare closeout. This is going to be his 4th attempt, and this is exactly what MM2 wanted. Oh no!
I'm actually impressed that he's getting the in-room like jump every time for the CWJ chance though. Like, he hasn't been short a single time. It's impressive.
Oh my goodness. I mean, this is 5 missed attempts now. MM2 getting in about 10.50 entry time.
Oh, he makes it first try.
And finally, right? So that's a 1 frame into a 1 frame setup essentially there. So you just have the 1 frame in order to get that CWJ. Eddie missing it 4 times, I think, after the initial 2 frame setup.
Yep.
And that's a mid for MM. Does not quite get that second missile. A little bit difficult to tell with the 30 frames per second what he got there, how many missiles.
Yeah, like I think it was a 7, but I'm not sure because of the 30 FPS.
Yeah, and then had a beautiful air Doppler round 1, not so great in round 2, and now is going to get the slow pattern, the slow right pattern in round 3. Doing just fine on health, completely full up, and should be able to close this out very nicely for a 3 round. Yep. And so we have a dead Fantoon on screen on your left-hand side for mm2nescartridge, just as Eddie enters about a full minute off pace right now. It was about an 11.5x entry, so almost a full minute behind where MM2 was.
Yep. Whole Fantoon fight behind.
Yeah, let's check out these drops, Ryan. Full health, 15 missiles. You're a little low on supers. You can get bailed out if you're playing on the MM2 ROM, pretty much. You'll just get, like, 9 supers from the Metal Pirates and be fine.
Yep. All the soldiers probably going to hook them up.
Yeah, and plenty of power bombs too. So really good. But not, yeah, Eddie will make up a little bit of time there, about 12 to 15 seconds on this fight with the on-screen mid.
Yep. They're like trash talking in chat about the 30 FPS a little. All right, so Eddie's drops, I think overall not as great. Like he's topped off on supers, but then kind of scammed for power bombs, so he's gonna have to farm at some point.
Yeah, I think I would rather have the power bombs than the supers in this situation. If you wind up with 0, which is where Eddie's going to be at here, you pretty much have to farm, unless you get something with a missile farm in pre-bowling. Pretty much have to just farm both crabs and cross your fingers.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you're a little low on supers and you don't get hooked up with any drops, you can always just double CAC farm, which is a lot more straightforward and guaranteed to give you what you're looking for.
Yep. Yeah, and what's kind of rough for Eddie was that he actually did try to do like the pseudo screw crab farm going up into that room, but then he flubbed it, and now he got kind of scammed on powerbomb drops by Fantoon. So
All right, and MM2 is through bowling. This is going to be, what about a 14-2x grav touch time, something like that. I mean, it's really not, all things considered, it was a bit of a rough start for both runners. MM2 did have the dip and moat, but managed to clean things up for the most part, despite the 3-round Fantoon, and is going to have maybe not quite a minute lead here.
yeah, no, Eddie is zooming. He's about to start the bowling cutscene too, so probably like about a half minute apart.
Yeah, these missiles are not great. 3-8 versus 15-4. It's interesting, I think, but with 0 power bombs, I definitely favor MM2's resources quite a bit. You can really get bailed out on bug farms for the supers. It's about 1.5 seconds per bug farm as well. So I think much more likely that MM2 will get the resources that he needs with a double CAC farm and a couple extra bug farms. Whereas I think Eddie is going to have to spend a little bit more time gathering power bombs and then getting that missile count up as well.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, and then how you can just end up getting a large health when farming the crabs each. Like, you know, how many stories has there been where, like, you know, somebody has to farm both crabs and they get like double large health, and then yeah, you know, you're kind of boned out of time due to spending the time for farming and then also still having to kill like a B-Tom for another power bomb and et cetera, et cetera.
All right. Well, commentators are being slightly invalidated by the fact that the runners are just sort of giving everything away in chat. Oh no! Oh dear. Okay, that could have been a lot worse. Fortunately, Eddie had the extra health and did get the 1 power bomb drop there from the 1 crab that he wound up farming after face planting in that battle crab. MM2 did point out that he is going to be, I guess, running PKRD here, so wasn't worried about the super farms. I'm not sure that I should have taken that for granted, Ryan. I mean, I don't know. In this situation, if I'm racing against Eddie, I don't know. What do you think? Do you just go for the slightly less optimal route and just go into LN with more safety and just hope for the best?
Yeah, I kind of feel like a fool for not thinking about that even being an option. I was just so like PRKD brained just because, I guess it's because I run the category like almost always now, right? But
yeah, you know, it's an interesting decision. I feel like perhaps from a strategic standpoint, I don't know if this was the plan all along, but you're ahead by, I don't know, 45 seconds or so. Why not just get Varia and make... Yeah, I mean, like, Eddie's under a lot of pressure right now to execute and perform quickly and catch up. The fact that you can go in with the extra tank and the half damage from Varia kind of really is nice for MM2 here, right? Because he can play aggressively after getting Varia, and Eddie has to be both aggressive and fast, and I think that's sort of just advantage MM2 here, given the big difference in time.
Exactly. Trying to pressure Eddie to maybe make a mistake by having to make the power plays. And yeah, and then for MM2, for having a lead that he can milk right now, like, you know, it can like goose his odds for survival, which is probably the most important part while he has this big lead. It's like to not bleed too much time, but also like, to just live.
Oh dear.
Uh-oh. We got the DLC content. Oh my god, Kratos is taking forever to open his mouth too. Alright, there we go.
It's probably about a 12-second time loss, 15-second time loss, something like that. Maybe even a little bit more than that.
Yeah, I think like 15 to 20 in that range, but I could be wrong. I actually don't know the math, to be honest.
It was a pretty long mouth open there. That's completely up to RNG. Sometimes you get a really fast cleanup if Kratos opens that mouth immediately. Not quite what we got here.
Yep. Yeah, the first time that he opens his mouth after the stand-up was RNG. Like, you can't force it open by like shooting him or anything.
Oof, that business center, Eddie. Holy smokes, man.
Gosh, that was so
That was beautiful business center. Nice little aim down there at the end to fix the door. That was wicked quick there. Definitely optimal movement.
Yeah, I was trying to do that strat because I saw him around a year ago, like practicing that room that way. And I was like, oh my god, that's so sick.
Nice little bomb clear out of those B-toms from MM2. There's that extra tank as well, so it'll be half damage from Varia and the extra tank. Ellen will certainly be a lot safer for MM2. Hard to say at this point with the divergence in routes, but with the Kraid stand-up and with the better play overall through Wreck Chip, I've got to think that MM2 is probably only about 30 seconds ahead. But then again, I just go ahead and say that, and Eddie misses Ice Escape and costs himself probably, what, 5-6 seconds there? So it's really, really hard to judge. They are both in Business Center at the same time, but gosh, yeah, I don't know. It's really difficult to judge. I would probably say MM2 at least 30 seconds ahead still.
Yep. Oh, Eddie skipped farming the power bombs there too, on the small Diskegas. Which I mean, should be fine still. Like all you're at 0, as long as he doesn't waste any power bombs making mistakes.
Now, this is actually one thing I don't remember the math on here. Oh, Eddie going for right side, not quite getting it, but does have that nice quick backup. What I was gonna say is going to ice here first instead of high jump. Is this actually this is slower by some amount, is it not?
Oh, shoot, MM2 said this in chat before that. Oh, it's faster, but you give up farm some kind of farm that you give up. I think he said this in chat like during his last race in the semifinals. Oh, okay. It says Cutie says it's half second faster. But yeah, I hadn't had any knowledge about this because we on commentary we're asking the same question in his like last match, so just came up before.
Okay, averaging 1 super for farm. So there's 3 farms and 3 supers. A little bit below what you'd expect, unfortunately.
Yeah, and he got 1 power bomb too, so that does help a bit.
It does help, yeah.
Because those are the power bombs are a rare drop there, so.
I expect then what we'll probably see, because I think Zenny is still the only person that I know that runs this route that turns off ice early and uses the Spazer wave combo, or the wave combo rather, to easily farm the power bombs going into lava dive. What I suspect we'll see here is that Eddie will just burn a bunch of missiles in order to farm up those power bombs going into chronic boost.
Yeah, definitely, since he's at 1.
It can cost a little bit of time on your Ridley fight, not having those extra missiles, and so we'll just have to see how the resources are managed. But generally speaking, it was 15-9 leaving the bug farm. It's just the 1 super is the only issue. But overall, pretty hooked up. MM2 does opt for the early bug farm. I think it technically does lose a little time. If you're going to do an extra farm, you might as well just fix the door and save your farms for the tail end leaving speed.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice D-boost there from Eddie. That's a newer strat that we've only seen developed in the last half year or so, is that D-boost off the Namahe there.
Yeah, there was a bunch of people working on that. And then I think it was Lynx that found a consistent setup there for it kind of recently.
That's a nice vertical lava spark. Nicely done there by Eddie.
Yeah, even with the early Shine Spark storage there, you still like had enough time to get the up spark.
Yeah. Yeah, you are down to it there when you're doing it that way. Probably if you have to run off that platform, it can get pretty tight. You can get into the very low single digits left on your Shine Spark counter, but manage to pull it off.
Exactly. So you have to spark early. Well, early without missing, obviously.
Okay,
right,
pretty important short charge here from Eddie. Ooh, that's another big mistake. MM cleans it up quickly, but that is probably about a 3-second time loss falling down there.
Yeah, vertical errors are really punishing, so.
All right, let's see. Pretty good powerbomb placement. It looks a little laggy. Yeah, it was a little low and a little laggy here, but manages to get through worst room in the game just fine. 109 health. This is very comfortable here in this situation.
Yep. Pretty ideal. Yeah, if you have like, above 107 roughly, I think it's usually pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to see that map random mains can pull off some of these major category strats.
Yep.
I love you, Eddie. I'm just messing around, bud.
Oh, you did the spark really late so you can grab that big health from the second key hunter. But got one big health from the first key hunter though. So that's cool.
Just having some fun, M-Rock. Little shave and a haircut. Got kind of close to that hopper there. Goodness gracious, Eddie.
Yup.
Nice double Kago. Very, very nicely done. And let's see now what these metal pirates are going to go ahead and draw.
Yep, 90 health. So.
Whoa! Whoa! My goodness.
Yep, so you can get all health on the second one.
Yeah, I mean, and that's really optimal, isn't it, Ryan? Because you got, I mean, he was lower on supers than an MM2 was. Actually managed to get full supers on the first metal pirate with, what was that, 4 out of 5 drops?
Yeah.
Pretty incredible, and then was all full on super, so is in really, really good shape here. Oh, and gets the other super from the bug. Does miss that extra health, but 201 entering is really, really nice.
Yep, and since he doesn't do X Factor strats, then he doesn't need the power bombs either. So
yeah, I will say MM2 did lose a little bit more time there. Eddie managing to nail that lava spark. Unfortunately, oh man, oh, this is not great. So MM2 having to gravity jump, that's a 6 to 7 second time loss, and now losing more time here. Unfortunately, not getting that spark across fast pillars.
Yep. Oh my god, that is brutal. Yeah, Eddie having a bit of like rough times with Ridley, but he did also get a 3 lunge manip too. So, but he's been missing quite a few charge shots a bit, taking a lot of hits too.
Yeah, there was an unfortunate kind of real bully move there from Ridley with that tail swipe on that last go around from the swoop. It should be close. Like, oh, really nice. Okay. So takes an extra hit, gets in the claws, but should be just fine. I expect to see Eddie pick up this tank here. It's got to be really close. It's got to be under 20 seconds at this point. Eddie's been playing a lot cleaner, has hit a lot more big strats. Wow, and you're going to have to take that tank now at this point if you're Eddie, because 116 is just like, that's GG's. Like, there's just, between the Wasteland hit and yeah, it leaves you no room for error whatsoever. So that's almost forced at this point, is picking that up.
Exactly. It's like the Wasteland hit, like running through the acid, like 2 rooms before Wasteland, and all that.
Yeah, and the big other consequence here of the issue that MM2 had with fast pillars is the power bomb count, and was forced here, unfortunately. Yeah, forced to get PBs of shame. At this point, I would say that we are probably dead even, if not Eddie's ahead. I am really bad at sort of estimating the difference between the two routes. How long is the Kraid stop? 1.5 minutes? No, it's got 2.5 minutes. How long are you spending in warehouse? Boy, Howie, should I know this?
All right, chat. Y'all have to tell us honestly. I think it's like under 2 minutes. So I could be wrong. Because yeah, I think Eddie is ahead at this point. But
I think that's probably correct. Yeah.
And then yeah, if MM2 doesn't get like Omega hooked up on drops for Ridley, then he's still gonna probably have to farm before Meridia too. Because you're doing this route of consequences, like often that you'll be pretty low on supers before going to Meridia. So usually need to farm them.
All right, let's see how this Key Hunter, 3 Musketeers escape goes. Obviously, with the extra tank, Eddie can just totally tank here.
Yeah, you'd probably do like the damage boost strats if you really wanted. But no, he just did like a regular clean manip.
Yeah, clean manip, no damage taken. 12-4 for pretty good resources here for Eddie, honestly.
Yep, because he still has to do Kraid too, so he has a good shot at being mostly topped off when leaving Kraid. Well, we'll see. It might be speaking too soon, right? Because Kraid drops could be like, you thought, or something.
Should be maybe 2 or 3 more shots on Ridley here, and then MM2 is done.
Yeah, I was trying to keep count at first, and then
a couple more than I thought, actually.
Yep, looks like he's dead. The fireball knocking him into Ridley's claw too. Little alley-oop right there.
All right, let's check out these drops. Pretty hooked up, honestly.
Yeah.
Whoa, 5 supers from Ridley. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, because he really didn't need the health. due to the routing. So if we
Oh,
got
and another super right off the bat from the Zoa. Holy smokes! Those are incredible drops.
Yeah, you can either do minimum farming on the bugs, or you could chance sparking the metal pirate. I'm hoping, but pretty sure that's less optimal than just bug farming though, most of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. The spark farm is going to be faster. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's another few second time loss there from MM2.
Yeah.
So I think it's just since wrecked ship, it's just been cleaner for Eddie.
Yep.
By a pretty substantial margin. I mean, 5 or 6 pretty major mistakes. Eddie got caught up a little bit leaving double chamber, but it's been largely very, very clean. And there's that nice quick kill here. See these grade drops. Just the one super from... Oh, nope. Actually, there was 2 more right next to the door. I take that back.
Yep, all the way at the end. Yeah, so he's good to go for drops. And he's like so high on regular missiles too. So he's
I actually can't
low.
tell. Does that say 10 or 8? Is it 18?
That's 18, I think.
It's 18.
But,
it's 18. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's 10, then I will eat my words and be like, that's good ammo, but not as much as I thought.
Okay, pretty nice setup for MM2. Does have 2 hits to give, and is gonna take. Oop, nope, not even the one. Nicely done there.
Yep. Big dodges. And yeah, now we can see the route converging. So you can see that Eddie is definitely ahead by a considerable amount at this point.
Yeah, I sort of lost track of exactly all the timing that we were adding up for those mistakes, but I mean, there was, I don't know, 4 or 5 mistakes, so somewhere between 5 and 10 seconds per mistake, and we only thought MM2 was up by about 30 seconds, so...
Yep.
What was that, about a 30-30 entry into Meridia?
Yeah.
Into Main Street? Yeah, and here's the farming that you were talking about.
Yep. Got in and out pretty quick, though, on it. So yeah, not the worst. Oh yeah, because I guess you get the 1 super in Bubble Mountain from King Cac, and then the waivers could maybe drop supers.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, I guess if you're when you're doing this route, then you, I guess at worst need what, 7 supers leaving Bubble Mountain. And
yeah, it depends a little on your missile count and how comfortable you are missiling Batoon. I mean, you could really just be fine with 6 there, but anything less than that is getting super dicey if you don't have the missiles to back it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice clean Batoon there. Full 6 missiles, full 6 supers. Couple of hiccups. It's been, for the first time in a while, a little bit less clean from Eddie since the escape from LN. Does get to skip that tank, having picked up the Ridley tank, and now we know that it'll be a 3-tank run from Eddie and not 4. I thought maybe the safety of the 4th might be there if he's watching the restream.
Yeah, same. He always watches like his opponents too, so
yeah. Trying to get the extra super here. Is he gonna missile this door or just go? You don't have to. I mean, you've got 20 missiles. There's no reason to. Yeah.
It's really, yeah, that Ghidorah is really slow for using regular missiles, comparatively. But yeah, if you're like more comfortable using like at least 1 missile on Dragon, I could see someone making the pivot.
Okay, let's see this Rain Dance setup. This is like more traditional Rain Dance setup. A couple years old now.
A little bit of lag in there.
Looked like a really, really good setup, though. That was super clean.
Yep. The belly turning door.
Yeah, and not getting scammed on that pattern. You can get a goop that goes straight down into the corner and really heck you there on that pattern from Dragon.
Dragon giving a big hug. Oh, I got the yikes suit.
Double yikes suit. Turned the blue suit into a yikes suit. Backed it up and got a second yikes suit. That's a multiple frame perfect mistake.
Yep. Yeah, because when you're using the spark, if you're 1 frame early, then then it automatically blows the spark and you don't get a spike suit. It's like 1 frame before your hit's done wears off, something like that.
Here's an even different Rain Dance setup here from MM2, starting from the right side. Looks pretty clean.
Yeah. Another orange belly.
Yeah, just getting under that goop there. Okay, let's see. This isn't the first opportunity in a while for MM2 to just straight up make up time, but got the yikes suit. That's 3 yikes suits so far.
Oh my god.
Trying to back this up.
Everybody being
No.
a frame early. Another second
Yep.
A press.
Yeah, and that really would have been a nice opportunity to make up about 7-8 seconds on Eddie having gotten that reverse halfie here.
Yeah,
We'll check the G4 time, but I think it's at this point, is it 45 seconds, something like that? Eddie's up. Certainly more than a baby skip.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, we can definitely use like some kind of landmark to try to compare.
Yeah, probably just G4, I imagine.
Yeah.
8-4 is pretty good here. 268. You're in fine shape health-wise. You're not worried about M1 at all. You probably just settle for some extra missile strats in 3 and 4 if you're at all worried. You also have 2010.
Yeah, exactly. This is really good ammo. Because I think pretty commonly in a run you might end up being at like 5 and 1 or like 10 and 1, like somewhere around there. Or well, I guess after once you actually get to G4.
Once you get to G4, yeah. I mean, I try to get to G4 with 3 to 4 always, and I'll bug farm up to that amount.
Yeah. So yeah, like you'll kind of commonly see if people are like really going for broke, they'll probably have like 2 less supers than this.
And leaving here with 6 is really nice. Yeah, I can't remember exactly if I pointed that out, but I was certainly thinking about it on commentary. Eddie pointing out in chat, getting the in-room sort of 1 frame into 1 frame backup 5 times in a row and then missing it 4 times is pretty wild.
I know, right? Eddie being like, I never missed 6 times in a row though. All right, so when I looked at the elevator landmark, it looks like MM2 is almost exactly a minute behind.
Oh yeah, wow. So even more than the 45 I thought.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there was just a lot that went wrong, right? I mean, he stood up Kraid, which was a pretty substantial, that was a hefty time loss. There was also the 3-round Fantoon, which we hadn't talked about. There's gravity jump instead of lava spark. That's another 7 seconds. The fast pillars miss was the other big one next to the Kraid DLC. That was a really, really big one.
That's a brutal one, because
right?
Yeah,
and then
using the power bombs and all that lag in that room.
All the power bombs, and then having to then pick up power bombs of shame, which is another pretty substantial loss. And I think just right there, those 3 mistakes, that's your minute. And then I think the rest was just cleaner movement overall, and Eddie showing his form. And all of a sudden, what was about a 30 to 45 second deficit, I mean, even a minute deficit for Eddie on the Fantoon entry times, has now turned about a 2-minute swing. Only thing Eddie needs to be a little careful about, Kojak super there. 26 should be okay. Is he going to missile here? Probably. Oh, dear. Oh, boy. Okay. Totally hooked up on these supers, though. My goodness.
Yep. He's loaded.
Okay, he's just fine.
Yep. Yeah, he's making it out of the Metroid rooms, like, for free at this point.
Okay, and he's full up. Yep.
Yeah, completely topped off. Oh, missing that damage boost is annoying, but at least he didn't get hit 2 times. Never punished. I'm telling you, Eddie's aura is too strong, man.
All right, let's see how this baby skip goes. I mean, it could pull this thing a little bit closer, but realistically, unless there's like, baby slow and serious shambles at Zeb skip, there's not really a whole lot that MM2 can hope for here.
Yep. Yeah, he definitely
really safe baby skip. Nicely done.
Yep. Very clean. Never seen him miss a baby skip in my life. And MM2 getting munched by this Metroid in the second room. Yeah, his ammo looks like pretty good, but oh well. I need to stop talking before, too early. Oh my god. Oh, MM2. That's rough. Alright, and that super disappeared, and he didn't get any from that last Metroid too.
Check these turrets here on the right side of our screen. Just make sure nothing silly happens. Ooh!
Oh!
Whoa, boy howdy. All right, we had already switched to missiles at that point, it looked like, so it was not the super that we lost. Eddie opting to go, what is it, 18-6 there instead of 15-7, saving the one super for the Mother Brain fight. Just needs to get through this cleanly. It's not free. It's only 59 energy. There's not a whole lot of hits to spare here, and a full volley of onion rings does end this for Eddie, so he does need to execute on these shots.
Yep. Yeah, and one missed jump on a catch-up as well. So, yeah, definitely got to be careful. He's definitely seen him get through like low percent ice fights and stuff. So this is like definitely chump change compared to that, but it's still again not free. Like, you know, it's so easy to make a mistake.
Nice middle hit on that meatball, by the way. So that was damageless on that hit. Could be pretty bad depending on how you get hit by those meatballs. Up to 40 damage.
Yep. Oh, mm2 missed baby skip, or did he purposely not go for it?
Well, he was 27 coming through M4, so he's got to open doors and
exactly.
He's got to open doors and refill essentially, and only really doing this at this point to make sure that if Eddie does die, that he can actually finish this run.
Exactly.
It does look like Eddie's maybe 4 or 5 shots on the super. It's really close now. Maybe one more catch up.
One final catch up, probably.
Yeah, and that should be GG's.
Yep. He's good. Yeah, so...
Well, it's kind of the outcome that we thought we might get from an 8% race, given Eddie's skill. It's not exactly the route that I thought we would take to get there. This was a bit of a wild ride with I don't know, if you told me that Eddie was down 1 minute going into Fantoon, if you told MM2 that Eddie would be down 1 minute going into Fantoon, you'd probably feel really, really good if you were MM2 here. Unfortunately, just unable to execute in the way to keep that advantage, and Eddie was just able to rely on that 80% background and strength and pull out this early victory here.
Absolutely. Yeah, man, Eddie is so good at bouncing back in matches. Like, there's been a lot of times where it seemed like in other matches, I was saying this in chat during his last match, where he seemed like he'd be down and out, but then like someone either like flubs really badly, like his opponent, or they like outright die in like some of these categories, and he like has the grit to just like, you know, most of the time just like not drop the ball, like not make like the ultimate fatal error in runs, and like it's cool. Like he's clutched out a lot of wins like throughout this tournament. If you like look through his history, it's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's really, really impressive, and pulling it out here again in race 1. For those of you who are with us, got a little over 200 of you here on SpeedGaming Live on this lovely Saturday evening in February. This is the finals of the SM multi-category tournament. There are 7 categories. We had 2 bands, MM2 banned low percent, Eddie banned GT max percent code, and then Eddie selected any percent. So pick number 2 still unknown, but MM2 will be picking, we think, here in the commentary booth, probably one of the more volatile categories, North Korea percent or RBO. We'll just have to wait and see. Other categories on the table right now are GT Classic and what's the last one? Hundo? Yes.
Yeah, which I don't know how MM2 is with Hundo, but
realistically, I think MM2 could run a 116 in Hundo if he was on top of his game. I think probably, I actually don't know off the top of my head whether Eddie has posted a more recent time here on the combined leaderboards. We can take a little look-see.
I actually forgot. I know he like grinded it during the Hundo tournament. But,
117.35 is at least what's posted there.
okay.
And so that's really close to the 117.42. I don't know how much work he's put into there, and maybe MM2 thinks that his experience with 100% might be a safe bet, and you save the volatile categories for a potential game 3. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see, and we can sort of prognosticate and guess a little bit. And it's easy for us in the commentary booth.
Yeah, it's certainly fun to speculate because Eddie's just doing like a typical climb at this point, or a typical escape at this point. No animal saved.
Go ahead and get your GGs in chat, folks. Finishing first in this race, first place with an official racetime.gg time of 43:40 is Eddie. Eddie, congratulations on that first win. Let's see if MM2 can bounce back in this second game. Yeah, I will say that is the first game that MM2 has dropped all tournament. Is that correct? Or did he drop a game in the semifinals? I think it was a 2-0 win in the semis, was it not?
Oh my gosh, I actually forgot.
It was. Yeah, it was. It was Hundo and Eddie % against Scotty. So MM2 had not dropped a game yet until this point. Eddie, the first one, able to drop to take a game off MM2. I tried 4 times, was unable to do it despite coming pretty close on a number of occasions. MM2 really has been in peak form, and it's a little unfortunate to see the first time that he hits kind of a really major hiccup in this tournament has been this performance against Eddie when he, for better or worse, he was kind of gift wrapped a situation where he was a minute up on a guy that had a 2-minute better PB than him, and it just was not able to pull it out. As you said, big credit to Eddie for always being able to bounce back, keep a race close, and then execute when he needed to and pull out this big W.
Yeah, despite all of that, Eddie's end time is still like less than half a minute behind MM2's PB. So that is wild. Recovered so well and still played so well, like despite all that. Like literally being gate kept by the boat for like over a minute. Still like eking out like such a good time. And yeah, I saw in the race group chat M2's like it's had the epitome of mediocrity as fire run. So I'm like, yeah, that's a mood. For real. And yeah, so he up-sparked up the climb instead of the behemoth spark. I knew he was going for the animals. Honestly, I looked at the race time and saw the timer was still going.
Well, we'll see. Are we going to get a tease here, or are we actually getting an animal save? Nope, real animal save. Okay.
No animal time. He's even like shooing them away. Like, go on, get.
Shoutouts to stream.
Making sure they're all gone. Yeah, that is.
All right, and get your GGs here lined up in chat. Finishing here in a second. Closing it out, 46:41 is the official racetime.gg time as we hear Samus go inside the ship. And we are just about to find out here in a moment the game to pick. MM2 fighting from underneath for the first time in this tournament. Eddie making his way through the bottom part of this bracket. MM2 making his way through the top, meeting in the finals. And Eddie taking game 1, 1-0 in this best of 3 series. Backs up against the wall here from mm2nescartridge. The 5 seed overall of the tournament, the 1 seed overall after the reseed, has got his work cut out for him, Ryan.
Yep. Eddie, stuck as a cool number 2 seed, so he's chilling. MM2 did say he's gonna let the credits roll and then pick, so we probably won't know for a bit. But
what are you hoping for game 2, Ryan? Do you have any preferences as far as what we get to call here?
I'm always biased towards whatever category is the shortest that's available. So. I guess that's GT Classic. Eh?
Yeah, I think that's unlikely to get picked.
Yep. Yeah, I'm feeling that it's gonna be like no North Korea. We'll see though.
Yeah, we do have GT Classic, RBO, North Korea, and Hundo still on the board. Whichever one of those gets picked, the other 3 will be in the randomized pool for a potential game 3 if necessary.
GT Classic enthusiast. I will try to learn it though. Yeah, Eddie. Yeah, like you said, like early in the tournament, that his strat was just to try and pick whatever's the shortest category. So, and always ban GT Max. So he doesn't even want to think about that. Yeah, should be good. That was a fun game one. Like all the tension and like disasters early on too.
It was a wild ride, Ryan. Holy smokes, was that a wild ride?
love when spicy things like that happen. And like as a spectator, like kind of like dramatic events like that, and like the spaghetti and like everything, and like just seeing that like all the greats are like human, like like us, right? It's like
seriously.
It's always a nice ride as like as a spectator, a lover of the sport. But yeah, I forgot to ask, how about yourself? What category you thinking or hoping for?
Oh boy, I would love to see MM2 put Eddie up to the task of RBO and try to put something volatile up there. I mean, they can both run like a sub 110. They could both run like a 68 or a 69 minute time in RBO. I think that would be hype. And frankly speaking, like they got the jitters out, they got a reset. It was a bit rocky for both runners. I would love to see just a super tight, tense, like 109, 108, like a 30-second difference RBO race. MM2 and I had one of those in our first race, and I was sort of scammed by some really bad goop RNG that cost me in Dragon.
Yeah,
I would absolutely love to see that. I would love to see a super tight, tense RBO race, and then just like let the dice decide, let the RNG decide what our game 3 is going to be. See MM2 pull out an RBO victory.
Yep. So did you see what got picked also? There has been a decision.
Yeah, I mean, I think strategically that is an excellent decision. I think North Korea is volatile, but not quite as volatile, and MM2 does not have the obvious advantage in Moondance that he does, over Eddie, that he might over other people. Yeah, and then I mean, Hundo is really close, but I think with the sort of longer movement categories, they're close in movement, but I think Eddie is just a little bit better. And then GT Classic is pretty volatile and short, and things can go sideways, with a GGG or something. I think you more hope that maybe is something that comes up at game 3. Here, I think you need a win. I think you want to get to game 3, and I think RBO is your best chance if you're MM2, and I think it's a great decision and great for the fans, honestly.
Yep. Oh, so are we supposed to end the episode and then wait to start again, or are we going straight through with the same?
Yeah, we do need to swap episodes. Jestro will take care of that for us. So, folks, we have game 2. It will be RBO, mm2nescartridge, back up against the wall. Needs to take game 2 to keep alive in this grand finals. Stay tuned. We're going to take a short break. We'll be with you back on the other side.
Okay.